Hello, LinkedIn family and friends. It's Dave Freedman here, and it's time for another edition of Monday Motivation. Get fired up! Special poolside edition. Well, I am really fired up today because I've got a great story that's going to help you transform your life. So sit back, relax, get ready to be inspired and fired up to live your best life, because here it comes. Well, one day there was a group of vultures that were flying high in the sky, and they noticed in the distance a beautiful island. So the vultures decided that they would fly to this beautiful island and check it out. Well, after a couple of hours, they arrived on the island. They began looking around, and much to their surprise, there was just this endless abundance of food everywhere and water that required no effort whatsoever to get. And well, on top of that, after exploring around a while, they found that there were no predators on the island whatsoever to hunt them down. Well, all the vultures talked among themselves and decided that this would be the place that they would want to spend the rest of their life. Well, many months passed by, and the vultures were enjoying themselves, living a comfortable life. They didn't even have to worry about flying or using their claws or anything. Just food was everywhere, right for the taking. And well, after a number of months had passed by, though, one of the vultures, a much older and wiser one among the group, called a special meeting with all the vultures. And he looked at them and said, "I am very worried. We have been on this island for a long time with no challenges whatsoever. We don't even have to fly. And what are we going to do if someday we encounter some kind of problem or attack? We're not going to be prepared to handle it, because if we stay here much longer, we're going to completely forget how to fly, and our claws will become weak and frail." Well, the younger vultures all looked at him and dismissed him as just a stubborn old vulture and decided that they were going to stay on this island for the rest of their life. Well, the older and wiser vulture said that he was now going to leave, and he flew away. Several months passed, and the older vulture decided that he would go back to the island and visit his friends and see how they were doing. Well, when he flew back to the island, much to his horror, when he began looking around, there were dead bodies of vultures everywhere. There were also many bodies of severely injured and bleeding vultures all across the island. And while the wise old vulture went up to one of the younger injured vultures and said, "My goodness, what happened?" And the younger vulture looked at him and said that, well, everything was going great for several months, but then one day a ship that was filled with wild animals landed on the island and released all the wild animals because it wanted to form a habitat for them on this island. And the first couple days that went by, everything was fine, but then the wild animals realized that the vultures had forgotten to fly and that their claws were too weak to protect themselves. And then slowly and surely, one by one, the wild animals began attacking and eating the vultures. And severe injuries to the few survivors that there were present on the island. And the young vulture looked at the older and wiser vulture and said, "Well, I guess you were right. We should have left when you did. Life became so easy here. We completely forgot how to fly, and our claws had become so weak we couldn't defend ourselves." And I think this story teaches a really great lesson about comfort zones, right? We all love being in our comfort zone. It's typically a fun, enjoyable place, very little worry or stress, and typically it may include things that we're also really good at doing as well that require very little challenges. But the problem is life is not free of problems, and sooner or later you're going to get hit with a brick. And by staying in your comfort zone too long, you will not continue to grow and develop as a person and won't be able to handle these problems and challenges that you will inevitably place. In addition to that, I have learned over the years that truly the best things in life lie right outside our comfort zone. And without exception, every time that I have ventured outside of mine, something wonderful in my life has happened. So in the week ahead, venture outside of your comfort zone, because the best things in life sit right outside of it, and learn to become comfortable with being uncomfortable. And that's your Monday motivation. I hope you are fired up. You have greatness within you, and you can make magic happen. Now get it done.